in the
I
seat.
know, there's always.
Well, you know, they cleaned up when we had election. Oh, thank you.
All right, I'm gonna go in the office again after the pledge. I need a pen.
See if there's one in thank you.
Extra pen, Marla.
Sometimes it's by Max. There's no pens by you. Oh.
Thanks.
Just want to make sure I'm live. Which we are. All right, welcome everybody to the July 6, 2026 Board of Trustees meeting. Let us rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I think I will lead it today. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was easy. I'm going to make a motion to enter the public hearing portion of our meeting. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Trustee Deputy Mayor Janice. All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. First item on the record is the Best Western Hotel, 1053 Northern Boulevard. The owner, Mr. Gandhi, let us know that he could not attend, and he sent in his steed, Mr. Corso.
Keith Corso.
I got it right. Good. Thank you, sir.
Good evening. My name is Keith Corso, attorney for Best Western Flower Hill, Abrams Spec Street. So at the last meeting, the board wanted to be assured that the guests that were staying pursuant to the contract between the Best Western and the Department of Social Services had left. And I can today inform the board that within a week of the last meeting, the Best Western had terminated its contract with the Department of Social Services. And the Department of Social Services has relocated all guests of the hotel to other locations.
Which confirms the letter I received from Mr. Gandhi on June 10th. I assume your client is out of this business of working with the DSS going forward.
Yes, that's what I've been for.
Perfect. Anybody have any questions from the board?
No.
Anybody from the audience have any questions?
Just thank
Oh.
your client for working with us on this situation.
Okay, I will convey that.
Yes, he did a great job with communicating the whole time. And he followed through with what he said he was going to follow through, and he did it ahead of time. So that's great news. I guess I'm going to make a motion to close this matter and the public, it wasn't a public hearing, public meeting. And I guess we'll consider this matter closed for now. Do I have a second?
Also,
Mr. Frankel, all in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Thank you, Mr. Corso.
Thank
I
you.
told you I'd get you in and out in record time. I followed through. Second public hearing is on the parking restrictions on Bonnie Heights Road, which we discussed last month. And this is just to finally get a vote in to finalize it. Are there any questions from the board? Are there any questions from the residents? Since I hear no. Jeff, I got to read the secret. All right. For the purposes of the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, or SECRA, I move that the village be identified as lead agency and that this action be deemed a type 2 action under SECRA, having no significant impact on the environment, and that as such, no further action is required under SECRA. So I'm making a SECRA resolution, and then I'm making a resolution to enact this new local law. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Done. Next, public comment. I see no public comment. I will now skip the next part of the meeting. Approval of the minutes of the June 1st, 2026 Board of Trustees meeting. Does anybody have any comments on it? Sounds like no. Then I will make a motion to accept these minutes. Seconded.
1 second.
Ms. Collins, all in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Item next, treasurer's report.
The abstract was sent to you all, so I hope you have a chance to review it. I did want to let you know that we received 88% of our village taxes in the last month, so it's good because they were due July 1st. So I'll send out some notices this month, letting people know that they are late. So I expect to get some more payments. We received $2,009,787 in tax payments this month. So I moved $500,000 into our MyClass account, which is making 3.5%. That's the daily yield. And then we're going to put $200,000 into a 6-month CD, which is at a 3.85% APR, and $200,000 into a 9-month CD at 4%. So that way, that money is earning interest. And our new Flagstar savings account, which is a money market account, is going to be 3.67%. So we'll move money in there as well.
Good. We're being very aggressive in our investing, which is a very good thing to bring in extra revenue to the village. I would say that this year's taxes collected to date is probably very similar to last year's at this point.
Yeah, it was about the same percentage.
Okay. Good. For those of you who are listening, taxes were due, and now the penalty is state mandated 5% from the state. I would pay it now before there's 1% each additional month. All right, I have the abstract here for a grand total of $339,349.39. Included in this is $5,602.90 of returned bonds. Or in this one case, legal fees from BZA. So I'm going to make the motion to approve both of those. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Janice. All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. 2 items that are in your packet for property maintenance. We have 2 homes, one Chestnut Road and the other one 17 Ridge Drive West. Both owners of the property have been issued multiple warnings. They've been issued violations. They still refuse to clean their property. So I would like to pass a resolution for both, so that either the village or a landscaper that we hire, a third party, can go and clean the property up to community standards. Do you have any questions about each of those properties?
I do have a question with respect to the second property, which I think we talked about this one already. There's no house on it, it's just a lot.
No, that is incorrect.
Okay,
That one, we approved that, the village mowed the lawn, and those fees are going to be put on the property taxes.
okay.
These are 2 homes. One is not occupied, and their taxes are full. The owner occasionally will mow the lawn. That would be 17 Ridge Drive West, but he's decided to no longer maintain his property.
Okay.
And then one Chestnut is another property that has just been a problem for quite a while. If Ms. Dorfman was here, she could give you chapter and verse on it. But it's we reach out, we email, Jack communicates. They just don't want to clean their properties properly. And we have the pictures. So I'm going to do I need to make 2 motions or can I do 1 motion?
It can be done in 1 motion. I would just like to clarify that for one Chestnut, I'm told that due to a typo in the original notice, second notice is being sent tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'd ask that any resolution to clear the property be subject to the time period of the notice. So it will go out tomorrow, then they will be given under the notice, they were being given how much time?
I think 5 days, no?
5 days to respond.
Okay, that's fair. So by next week, we can have these properties, that property cleaned, and that would be 1 Chestnut and 17 Ridge Drive. They can start doing that immediately. Is that acceptable? So I'm going to make the motion for both of these properties. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. All in favor? Aye. Excellent. Next one. This is you, Marla. Tree.
I'm doing this on behalf of a resident from the residents from 106 Drake Lane. They are appealing, according to the letter, they are appealing not the tree replanting, but the bond, which is $1,000 per tree. There's an arborist report in there that deemed the tree's dead, and you can look at that, they're completely dead. And either they can be removed, and that would require a $3,000 bond. In the letter, they write they're in their 90s, and it would be a hardship for them to come up with $3,000.
But they're not challenging the replanting,
No.
they're only challenging the
Correct. Well,
Bond.
according to their letter, they are only challenging
bond.
bond.
Well, they did say they have no more room to plant.
Yeah. that-
Well,
that
You
3
can't
dozen
plant
trees.
any more trees.
I'm not sure that's accurate. Well, did they say that?
Yeah, have you seen the properties? Anybody been to see the property?
There's plenty of room in the front of the property to plant
Once
trees.
they remove these 3 trees,
There's maybe in the back, there's less room because I haven't been on the property, but in the front of the property, you will
See a
see
big
that
property,
there's,
they have 36 trees in the front already. Said they have 36 trees in the front. Is it like an acre, big property?
it's a corner.
Drake, it's a big, yeah.
They're on a corner property. So since we all have, those of us who live on corners, Max will attest, we have 2 front yards. The front of the house, if you look on Google Earth or something, you'll see this, there should be plenty of space. So again, they're not challenging the planting of the trees, they're challenging the bond.
more if you look at the side, where the dead trees are.
And they haven't produced any proof of economic hardship, nor are they claiming economic hardship that I'm aware of.
You could say it's orange.
Yeah, I still wonder why do you have to pay a bond for a dead tree?
Right.
I mean, it makes no sense.
We have a bond to replace the trees.
I
Otherwise,
can see if you decide to remove a tree, yeah, you have to replace it, but every dead tree has to be replaced? Like, yeah, I mean,
that's what we've been doing in this village for a very long time.
yeah.
This board is the ones that increased the bond fee to ensure that people would comply with the planting.
But it's a lot of money, $3,000 for people in their 90s.
Agree. I don't think one shoe fits all. We don't have any pictures of the house, so, I mean,
Well, they didn't include that in their
yeah,
appeal.
so maybe we go back to them and, or we, like that historic house, which we go and make it a point to have several people drive by the property. Just before we completely waive and say, no, this is our rule and we're not thinking about
They
it.
said they're not gonna take it down, we don't, if they have to pay the $3,000, they're just gonna let it go. So we could certainly put it on next month.
All right.
Obviously, they're not rushed.
Everybody have a time? Sorry.
I'm just confused though. It says they have 3 trees that are dead and then want to take them down.
Yes.
Then they say they have no room for any new trees. So that suggests to me that they're not going to plant 3 new trees. But by rule, aren't they supposed to plant 3 new
Yes,
trees?
they are.
And then I see the sad thing from Jolly Green Tree that says they have no leaves present, removal approved, but doesn't say anything about them replacing those 3 trees. So what are they, I understand they don't want to pay the bond, but it seems like they don't want to put up new trees either.
I didn't appreciate that until you just mentioned it. When the guy came here, the gentleman, owner, and he was talking about $3,000. So I did not appreciate that he didn't want to plant.
I was under the impression he was going to plant when
Me
we
too.
were kind of having this conversation.
So, and that is a requirement,
That's what he gets the bond, that's what he gets the bond back.
and that's how you get the bond.
We want to just waive the rule for not paying for the bond and take the trees out, no replacement, which.
The bonds
So
are to ensure that people actually plant, because there are plenty of people that dead or alive, we'd never replant if they didn't have skin in the game.
Mhm.
And that's why we did it.
And how big of a tree do I have to plant? I mean, I'm going through this now, so I have to do the same
It's
thing,
like
but
a 2-inch diameter. It's
that costs nothing.
crazy.
So why don't they just get $40 a piece, $50 a piece for a little?
Seems like the bond is what.
Okay.
Are you
What
trees?
they bought the trees that they were gonna plant, so we knew they were gonna plant them before they took the other ones down, and then we could
That's
waive
why I
the
think the
bond.
bond was the big issue.
Like, They'd have to plant it.
So let's just be clear. I think our goal is for every tree that comes down, whether it needs to come down. I mean, sometimes actually people take down more trees than they replant, right? Like a knockdown house, typically they're taking down half dozen trees at least sometimes, maybe more.
So it's like we make them replant one for one.
Do we make them plant one for one?
That is not necessarily true.
That is usually true.
There are times, like in the case.
Since I am here.
All right, but the goal is to have one for one.
Correct.
Let's not get distracted by a possible exception to the rule. But that's the goal. And so I think, but you kind of argue that at some point, and I'd be the last one to argue this, but I can see the argument of saying, well, I kind of I got enough trees, right? And I want a lawn and I need some sunlight, and but that shouldn't then get them off the hook. I think I thought we had some idea of when there's a tree fund for the village. So I think we need to be sure that they understand that you don't have to plant these trees if you don't want, but you're paying into our fund then. So I think
The city.
So then therefore there's no financial incentive for them not to follow through.
But that escape valve in essence is not, it's at the village's option. A resident can't just say, I'm cutting down all my trees. Here's money for all those trees I'm not replanting.
I understood.
So just to be clear on that.
Right. No, this doesn't apply to extreme cases. I'm trying to apply that logic to this case, which is there a way out with look, if you don't want to buy a tree, fine, but you got to put into the fund.
And that's fair, but that wasn't, what they represented to Suzanne and Marla was the bond, not the objection to replanting a tree. If they objected to planting the tree, that's a different conversation.
So what is the donation that we force people to do if they can't replant a tree? Because they
$1,000.
It's $500.
$500 a tree, which is a fair value for us to use for whatever we may want to do.
We use it. We use that money that specifically goes in a separate account,
Right.
and we use that money specifically for
Okay.
tree replanting either on islands or in the park or another.
If you can
place.
plant a tree for $50, why would you pay $500? Why not just
I-
plant a tree
Right,
anywhere?
but my point is fine. You don't want to pay the $3,000 fine, but we're going to make you pay $1,500. The board could agree to that, I guess, if that's possible. $1,500 to cover that. And if they plant the trees, fine, then they get their money back. If they don't plant the trees, then we put it into the fund.
The idea of the 500, when the board made that decision last year, was to really give relief to people who didn't have the room or really didn't want trees. And we don't offer that to people who have no trees on their property. But at the same time, we want people to really plant on their own property where they were moving, for the most part. We don't really want people to, just leave it to us to plant trees all over the place. So most people, given the option, will take that $1,500 and plant their own trees on their own property. They do. That's really what's happening. We've had one or two people donate, and it's been relief for them. But the majority of people will plant on their own property.
Right. And I'm just saying, is that a compromise we can put out? Okay, you can't afford the $3,000, it's $1,500.
Yeah, no, it is. We do put it out there. And also on that list of trees, there are a range of trees in different, I'm sure, different prices. From deciduous trees and flowering trees.
Yeah, they're not expensive. The trees that are in the list are not expensive. Well, the other thing is, for people in this kind of situation, in the 90s, maybe they're on a fixed income. Why don't we say, you can cut the tree down, but you have 90 days to replace the tree. If you don't replace the tree at the end of 90 days, you have to put the bond up. And
Well, the reason.
this way, people have 3,000 might be a lot.
The reason the bond is there.
Yeah.
is to also ensure that the tree lives.
Right.
It's not refunded until 6 months after the tree is planted.
Oh,
It's
And-
to ensure that a tree that people put trees in, we want to make sure those trees stay.
And by the way, if they did this tomorrow, it wouldn't be a good day to do it.
No,
No, I
they-
mean,
they
like
should,
this time of year,
they
right?
should probably wait till
The
September.
Fall, right, late fall.
Maybe
right.
October.
So to Mary Jo's point, I think we should can this for another month. We should find out, are they asking for just bond relief, or are they asking not to replace the trees? Then if they can't replace the trees, they should be told that we do have an alternative,
like this.
that you can pay money into this fund and put trees elsewhere. This to me is just completely unclear. It concludes that we want the bond waived, but it says we don't have any room to place trees. So it seems to me, we don't really know what they want.
All right,
Yes, you're right.
let's push this next month.
And, suggested that maybe some pictures would help.
Can you ask them if there are a couple of us trying to buy?
Okay, building superintendent report. Since Peter is on vacation this week, Gary, you're promoted to
Okay.
temporary building
I
superintendent.
wish I had the report though.
It's in the packet.
It's not in mine, ironically.
That's just pure randomness. That's pretty impressive.
It's in his usual report.
Oh, architecture review. I thought you said-
No, building
He
superintendent.
Spelled it out in the architecture review report.
Yeah, I got it here.
Okay.
Gary didn't have a
It wasn't
copy in
my
his
original
packet.
packet, but Randall
No,
was
I
nice.
didn't, I only got it, it was given to me.
Got it.
Marla, we're talking about the printed packet in Gary's hands. He is missing the printed copy.
Yours?
I gave him mine.
I-
So I'll take Heather's,
I think what they do is they randomly choose one report from each person, so we can all share that.
maybe.
I put them in everything.
Okay.
It's okay.
It's not in the
Leave
past
that
packet.
extra.
All right, Gary, the floor is yours.
Excellent. All right, there were 3 cases, 2 returning cases, although one was a very long from the last time it came up in front of the committee. So first was 11 West Gate. That was returning, and that was to do a different style portico. There was some minor comment, but basically it was recommended for approval by the board. 91 Fernwood, that's a new single-family residence. It's a steep slope site. So it has some, obviously some
Challenges.
challenges. Thank you. And but the committee felt that it was a very creative solution to the design of a house on that location, and there was agreement to send that for approval to the board.
And then lastly,
And then there's 3. You good?
Yeah, we're going to work.
Just where it was.
334 Nassau Avenue, roofing and siding replacement. That was reviewed and also recommended for approval to the board.
excellent. I do want to thank Peter for the comments for 91 Fernwood, because I asked him to be a little more specific on.
Yeah,
on-
everyone should
the
read them,
project.
but I think that
Now,
was,
listen, it's a very interesting design.
Yeah.
It's probably, what amazes me is they don't need a
It's a
variance for
famous-
anything.
He's a famous architect.
Yes, Peter explained that to me.
Stuart Dombrowski.
So I'm going to
He's
first.
the N. He's one of the N's in N2 design
Mhm.
in our firm. It was Nicolaitis and Navrowski,
Oh,
and then they changed it to N2 because the other one didn't just roll off your tongue.
right.
And now Gary and I are in N2.
Oh. It should
Fact-
be G and G.
factoid-
It
little
should be G and
factoid
G,
for,
Gary and Janice.
You know, well,
Um,
Stuart's an
he's
outstanding
I'm
architect.
Nano, he's Nino.
Yeah, right. The old Italian grandparents.
So does the board have any questions first on any of these applications? No. Does anyone from the audience have any questions? Since that's no, I'm going to make a motion to approve these 3 applications. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Smith. Other than Gary, all in favor? Aye. Gary,
Nay, 91 Fernwood, but I'm going to yes to the other two.
and you're,
Knowing the residents below and next door, just hearing out their concerns, so.
but they're, just so you know, they're not here.
I know.
They sent a letter of concerns.
I know, I read it. I just feel more comfortable either abstaining or I was going to say nay, that I don't agree with that.
I'll take
I
that.
know
You don't have to
what the
explain
majority
yourself.
is.
So worth me saying that I spoke to the main person there, because,
No, I'm just gonna, I know there's a majority for
Okay.
aye, I'm just
All
right.
saying my nay.
Where I guess the question would be is, are you aware of concerns that haven't been expressed?
Yeah, because we don't know
To the
that.
village?
What are the concerns? The
have-
house gonna fall out? No, that's.
they sent a letter, which was given to all the members of the board of the ARC. I can get that letter for you. They have all kinds of concerns about, based on the same concerns they had with the original design last year, about runoff and all of this stuff.
Because it's a landmark
spoke
house,
with-
it's the house that we landmarked the other year.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
if
yeah,
it's
yeah.
I spoke
destroyed,
with that
there's a
guy
lot more
today,
to it.
right? He called me today.
Affirmative.
To find out if he should show up tonight. I said, what was approved was the ARC, that the project is not approved until it gets a permit. It's just the design, and I read, he asked me to, and I read him his entire report. And he said, so, I don't have nothing to worry about. I explained to him, the biggest factors and differences are, number one, that this house does not need any variances. That means it is well within its rights legally to build this house. It's not gonna be as big and as this and that and the other thing. I also explained that they were doing pilings instead of
Footings.
footings, which is all the difference in the stability of the land. Number two, and number three is that the applicant, which is also something the board put in place last year, where the applicant is going to be required to pay for our engineer, Lero, to review their engineer, North Coast's plan. And he was comfortable with that. I'm just letting you know that those are all things that he is concerned with. That's why he was allegedly calling all the neighbors, but they didn't have to. I told him you can watch on YouTube also. And anyway, that is why I believe he's not here.
Okay.
There you
We'll still register you. We'll still register your name out,
Yes, register the neighbor.
which is, we can talk about that separately. All right, the vote has passed. Next. Public Works Report. Thank you, Rich, and everybody for putting out the American flags as we do on our big major holidays here. Attorney's Report, BZA, Mr. Blinkoff.
I emailed my colleagues who sent this afternoon, I also have hard copies for the board, and the clerk also made separate hard copies. There were several matters before the board at this month's meeting. One was adjourned, the remainder were approved with, that is the report, with certain minor changes. I'll just briefly review the So briefly review the application number 2. They were really just bumping out the garage 4 feet. It was a pretty minor change. I skipped over application 1, which the board felt would not cause any impediment because they were not increasing the footprint. Any change was really above the second floor. The third application, which is for Allen Gardens property, 25 Maple Drive. I just want to note that the board made some changes before they approved that, so that there would be a minimization of any impediment to any surrounding areas. The pool is to be moved 4 feet north, so it's further away from the lot line. And the distance west, so there would be 10 feet from the front and side property lines. And the fence was going to be on the inside of trees, so that nobody's going to see the fence. This is a corner lot, so they have 2 front yards by definition. But based on the design, as the board reviewed it, it really would not be visible. The fencing certainly would be screened, and there would be no impediment. As to the remaining application, number 5 having been adjourned, the remaining application, first the applicant removed any request for a side yard setback variance, agreeing that they would move the structure to be 15 feet away from the property line. And the board, after review with a modification, approved it such that there would be new landscaping plans that they wanted Mr. Obinsky to review. And the driveway was going to be 2.9 feet from the property line. The idea was that the board, in discussion with the building inspector, wanted to ensure there was enough distance from the driveway, the lot line, to put in additional screening. And after discussion and the discussion about what could be planted, they decided that 2.9 feet would allow that. The remaining application was then adjourned. And that is my report.
I have a question on application 2.
Yeah.
It's a large variance they've asked for F, from 49, normally
Yes,
30% to 49.52.
Right.
That's pretty large.
Right, Mr. Obinsky reviewed that with the board. The reason being that once they asked for the 4-foot bump out, they changed the manner of his math so that the coverage difference sort of was multiplied more than one normally would expect that it would be. So he felt that the proposal really wouldn't visibly have much of an impact. It was just the manner in which he calculates things that caused it to have that of a percentage.
So what was the addition,
Right, let me.
the size of the addition? Because I think that's
Sure.
kind of,
Right, I thought there might have been a question about that, so I brought the drawings.
so do you understand what he said?
Well, because they pumped at the front of
The
the house.
front
they
yard
have
got
less-
shorter.
There's less of a front yard.
Right, so it's
Yeah, no,
less, the percentage got greater, but it's not really.
right. It's just because the house is now, it's just
Just math.
the front.
It's just
But-
I
but I'm
thought
just-
there might be a question, so let me just show the drawings because.
I don't,
It's easy.
that is,
No, I
it
think
is
we get it.
sufficient. I do not
think we
need to
get
see.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
I
it's a smaller pie, so now the
Right.
slice is
Right.
a higher percentage. It's, you know,
Well,
it's-
If you want
It's the same
to-
size slice for a smaller pie.
Right, the pie got smaller.
Right,
Same
right,
size
well, I
size.
got smaller.
It's just interesting that that became a result of, I mean, a variance on square footage.
Right. One begat the other.
Yeah.
Fine, good. We don't need to approve this. This is good. All right, so I already thanked Rich for that. Let's see, Mayor's report. The Run for Katie Ovarian Cancer 5K run was a big success. Marla and I held the finish line banners. It's very exciting. I attended the Long Island Groundwater Rebalance 2050 organizational briefing from our friend Mindy Germain. And it was pretty interesting on what they're trying to do to reduce groundwater withdrawals so that we have more water to use and that we don't have saltwater intrusion. I am very happy to announce that I've been elected treasurer of the NCVOA, which I think, thank you, which
Which means I have to eat dinner by myself.
no, you would Mayor Pop. I'm following the footsteps of former Mayor Phillips, who I believe started as the treasurer. So it's a good person to be following. Next, so Heather already mentioned taxes are due. We're going to have an interesting presentation next month from the Roslyn Fire Department. They are looking to increase the amount of monies they are paying as their service award to their members who are eligible for to earn this. So it's after a certain amount of years and a certain age. It would increase our fire tax by $10,300 annually. I sent the fire department a bunch of questions for them to give to us, the board, before next month's meeting. If residents want to come and ask questions, that would be appreciated as well. My big concern to the fire department is they claim that the extra payouts is going to help recruit members. And I need some sort of metrics to prove that something you're going to collect at age 62 is going to help the young people want to join the fire department now. So hopefully they'll have that answer. And then if we as a board vote to, I don't say approve this, we vote as a board to let this go to a voter referendum. So only those residents in Flower Hill that are served under the Roslyn Fire Department would come in on a date to be determined and vote if this is something they want to approve or not. It's a very interesting procedure. GoGov, sorry,
Just
Mr.
sorry.
Smith.
I think I know the answer to this question, but this theoretically would only affect those members of the village in Rosslyn.
Affirmative.
So my portion, my Manhasset portion, it's not gonna change my taxes in any way.
Not today, because then you'll have other fire departments who will then seek the same types of payments.
Okay, fair enough.
So once
We
one
did
fire
it.
department,
We did it already.
We did it once, yeah, I remember that.
No, my fire department, we did it already.
no,
You want to do it again?
I don't know. I don't think they increased if you change the LoSAP terms, it has to go to a voter referendum. And the Port Washington Fire Department, as far as I know, has not done.
No,
It's
no.
only talked about.
Yeah.
Right.
Rich Christmas, okay.
This will be one of the first ones that I'm aware of, but then other fire
Yeah, no,
departments will want to
certainly.
follow too. And listen, I think it's great that they would like better benefits to help retain members and
Gotta
allegedly
recruit.
recruit.
Yeah. it's like-
But I think the taxpayers need to know this at a time and be educated, and decide if something they want to vote on and approve. It's, it's all about transparency, and I want to make sure that our residents know this is coming. I am forming the Flower Hill 100th Anniversary Committee because our former trustee, Norman Glavis, who was the chairperson of the village's 75th Anniversary Committee, he said we should start thinking about 100. He's volunteering to be on the committee, but he doesn't want to be the chairperson.
What year is it?
It's in 5 years from now. But he said it's good to start planning now.
Plus Norman's chops over there.
He is so anal.
Norman's a good guy. You know what?
great.
He's a
We
great
work-
guy.
he works with us.
Norman is
Potential project with him.
Norman is phenomenal.
In Ohio.
To think that far ahead. So I think that's great.
So detailed.
So I'm announcing the committee. He's our founding member, and hopefully we'll get some other members. Marla sent out today the latest email about the Port Washington Middle Neck Road safety upgrade. The village meets with the DOT weekly, so we get more information, we'll let everybody know. We don't have a zoning board meeting next month. Odd. Usually it's busy, but I'm sure August will come back. And then Gary, myself, and Marla met with the Port Washington Sewer District and IMEG Engineering about the feasibility study. Gary is going to help steer the ship because it's a little rough. There's some rough waters ahead of us to get the information that IMEG needs.
Bruce.
Yeah. Whatever term you want to use. So hopefully IMEG gets that information so that they can
Did get a response.
publish a good feasibility study. We just need some numbers. And that's it on Mayor's report.
Question? Any update on the water?
Yeah, I was gonna ask,
House-
is that ever gonna be done?
Well, no, like what's the date or what the plantings? Is that the fall? Who's keeping you?
Well, they haven't
Do they
done, they
call
haven't
you
done work
monthly or
on it.
something?
in-
So I usually get an
Wow.
email every month from Mr. Pagano. And I didn't get this month's update, but last month's update is they're doing more testing of the well, hopefully turning it on pretty soon. But the plantings won't happen till the fall at this
Well, what
point.
about finishing the building?
Finishing the building too.
Taking
They're-
the fence down? They
they're-
haven't done any work in
Yeah.
a month. It's just crap. And, the fence is all crooked and
Yep.
just looks terrible.
All right, well,
I can reach out to them.
Yeah,
They can just wait it up.
They just finish it.
I think it's still,
Finish it.
my guessing, because it's still an active construction site, they need to keep the fence.
No,
up.
absolutely, but they should
They can neat it up.
maintain it, it's like.
Okay.
yeah.
If I have nothing else, I would like to make a motion to go into,
can I
oh,
just add
sure, sorry.
I thought this was our time.
Oh, it is, I just didn't know you had something. I'm sorry.
Just a couple quick things. One is, well, I don't know if I mentioned previously, I was selected to sit on a committee for nitrogen smart community for both town and North Hempstead. So,
Oh, good. I need some information. I saw that article and I didn't understand why the village wasn't asked to participate.
because it's a town thing. However, one of the professionals who was hired to work with that group, basically it's like any of those smart community things, which is there's several steps. And if you achieve the steps, then you get the recognition of being nitrogen smart community. And, it's all in the, akin to what you were saying earlier about Mindy and, trying to protect our water supply. And anyway, one of the professionals who's on the team approached me about whether the village might be interested in participating. And of course I asked, well, at what cost and what are the benefits? And apparently there's no real upfront cost. The only cost would be is if we decide that there are certain things that we would want to implement, then it would be at our expense, right? So, but it would give us opportunity to learn more about the subject. All the board members learning. We could probably get educational opportunities basically on the subject, and maybe some other policy suggestions that may be useful for us to consider.
Good, because I was going to reach out to Ms. DeSena and try to understand why it's only a town initiative, but that's good.
Right.
There's lots of villages that are part of the same watershed that kind of contribute just as much.
Right.
So
Right.
it's kind of short-sighted just to keep it on a town level, but I think it's great.
Look, there are people from Kings Point. There are people from. My neighbor actually is on the committee. I don't know. She's I guess an environmentalist, but and there so there are it's kind of across the whole town whether they're in the village or not, or in the town or not. So anyway, but they are looking for engagement by the villages. So I think there's an opportunity for
Engage, please. Thank you. You saved me an email and a phone call.
And I can, if you're interested, I can give you the updates as the meetings progress.
Let us know how the other villages might want to participate as well.
So the other person reached out recently to me is someone who is now I've forgotten where she's studying, but she's a grad student who's doing a study on stormwater management, and she's interested in talking to us. She wants to interview local governments.
She reached out. I'm not passing on that opportunity.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it.
I'm going to make a motion to go to executive session to discuss, once again, a pending legal matter. Second?
Do we know what these people are here?
Oh, do you guys have any questions before we end our lovely meeting?
Yeah, actually, we wanted to find out if there was a status on the St. Francis Hospital expansion plans.
There is no new news on St. Francis. They claimed they were going to give us information earlier in the year, and they don't have a plan yet. So whenever I see members of the hospital, this first question I always ask, Dr. LaCour is still there.
No,
he is?
Yeah, we just had breakfast with him.
Who's that then?
It was the
Oh, no.
CEO of Catholic
Yeah,
Health,
from Catholic
O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the big guy.
O'Shaughnessy
Yeah.
resigned,
yeah.
but Dr. LaCour,
It's still there.
It's
Oh,
still there.
Shaughnessy's gone. Right.
yeah, O'Shaughnessy's gone. Yeah, they don't have a plan yet.
I see that they're doing some traffic.
Nope, that is New York State that's doing it.
Oh, that's New York State, okay.
New York State, that was a traffic safety study that started back in the days of Elaine Phillips that finally, however many years now, has been finally done, or finally they're working on it. Yeah, that has,
Love the state.
it has nothing, the hospital is not doing the work, the state is doing the work. They're doing sidewalk there, they do sidewalk on the other side of Port Boulevard where the bus stop is, enhanced crosswalks. They're changing a little bit of the length of the turning lanes just to improve the traffic flow. But as soon as I know anything about the hospital, it'll go in my monthly newsletter.
If you download our app, we have an app for iPhones, you get updates on the DOT project on every couple of days.
Or even better, you can make sure Marla has your email address.
Yeah, you get it all.
If there's something new from the hospital, it would go in the newsletter.
The last communication as far as what's going on at the hospital was the fact that they did soil boring tests back in October of last year, which obviously suggests that that's a prelude to, demolition or construction.
It's a
No, actually, soil borings are done before
during design, because you have to be able to design to make sure the soil has the supporting capability. So borings is a very early in a design or even a planning process, because if they want to plan a building there, they need to find out if it's even feasible to put a building, if the ground can even support it. So borings don't indicate really anything.
Okay, so that's really the last thing.
As soon as they are ready to present something to the community, we will have multiple meetings here, and I will reach out to everybody like I've done in the past on other topics, and we can address it with the hospital accordingly. But I have no demo permit, I have no building permit, I have nothing from them. And I think Dr. LaCour is probably tired of me asking him every time I see him, what's going on with the hospital? What's going on with the hospital? So
I've got a copy of their proposal, and this is from, I guess, 2 or 3 years ago.
2 years old.
Expansion, where this is the beginning of, a major expansion. So I'm sort of like, okay, when is that gonna take place? Obviously, Oak Tree Lane is involved, so we just wanna see what's the status of.
Oak Tree Lane is, as far as I'm concerned, not involved. It's a residential block. I'm not sure this board, I'll speak for myself, would be interested in changing the zone type of those properties from residential to hospital, commercial, something else. There are people living in those homes. I actually met one of them. They work in the hospital. The hospital's using those houses right now for workers. I don't envision allowing those properties to become anything but residential. They're homes. You can't just buy something here and think you're going to make it something else.
Right, but obviously they'll be affected by any demolition that may be going on behind them, as well as construction.
Just like any home in this village, if something else, people have homes that back up to Port Boulevard, Northern Boulevard, and there's construction that goes on there all the time.
Right.
So yes, we will carefully take the concerns of all the affected residents when this building, if and when a building permit comes in front of this village.
Catholic Health also had some expansion at Good Samaritan, I believe, out in West Islip.
Yep.
And many homeowners complained about some of the construction demolition. There was even an article in Newsday about that. So, the concern is obviously any of those houses that are going to be affected by what's going on or will be going on at St. Francis. We'd like to know a little bit more about that.
I told everybody, as soon as I know, the community will know. This process will not happen in a vacuum. No matter what some naysayers might say, it's pure transparency with the hospital. As soon as I know anything, you will know something. I know nothing. They haven't presented a single idea or concept to myself or anyone on the board that I'm aware of. All right, making the same motion to go to executive session, seconded by Mr. Frankel. All in favor? Aye. Heather, if you can kill the video for me. All righty. Give Marley your email address if you're not getting my monthly newsletter. Are you getting it?
We go to the website to.
No.